Hello and welcome to a look at Gyruss for the Commodore 64, a game that was made and released by Parker Brothers, or Parker Brothers I think they're called, the Brothers Parker or something like that, which is a Konami arcade original, and I would assume this is a licensed product, official license, even though there's no mention of it on the screen anywhere. But the plot of Gyruss is that you find yourself some distance away from Neptune and have to fight your way back to Earth, which is something you do by navigating different stages, and once you have completed a certain amount of warps, you will arrive at the next planet, and then you rinse and repeat. And so you run out of lives, or you find your way back home, which is a good as reason as any for a shooting game, I suppose. When it comes to arcade conversions, it is very easy to think of one specific arcade conversion as being one of the best arcade conversions made for the Commodore 64, which would be Bubble Bubble or Bubble Bubble, whatever these people call it, where you play these two dragons who have to bubble their way through 100 screens in order to turn back to normal, which you never actually get to see in that game, but never mind. But when it comes to arcade accuracy, it is very, very hard to dismiss this little game. Obviously, the arcade original was from 1983 and this game was from 1984, so you can't exactly expect miracles when it comes to neither the original material nor the conversion. But based on the original material, I would say that this conversion is actually rather spot on. It doesn't look as fancy, it sounds infinitely better, but the gameplay is the same. And all in all, I will say that as arcade conversions go, this game is of a surprisingly high quality. Even just playing the game, making this video, I actually was quite enjoying myself doing it. Let's talk technical stuff, because it's fun to talk technical stuff. The graphics are basic but entirely functional, and the enemies and all that kind of stuff, they look like, I suppose, enemies, and yeah, there's nothing overly fancy, funky about the graphics. I mean, the planets are not exactly photorealistic, but it works. The sound design, something that I am extremely, and you can make your butt jokes now, by the way, if you want to. I'm not going to do it. I will refrain from making them. But anyway, the sound design. Compared to the arcade original, this game doesn't contain an awful lot of the sound effects. And that is actually a blessing, because I found the sound effects in the arcade original to be extremely loud, noisy, and intrusive. And when it comes to the Commodore 64 version of Gyruss, they have actually focused on what is important, which is the music. And you have informative sound effects, but none of them are intrusive in any way, shape, or form, and none of them threatens to blow your eardrums out because you're listening to them. Which, of course, directly leads us into the music. When it comes to the music of this game, I have to admit, I have always remembered the Commodore 64 version's music of this game. It is what I would call musical elegance. Compared to 100 or 174 members orchestra, this music is extremely simple, but you know what? It works extremely well. The melodic qualities of the music is extremely high, and call it bias, call it whatever you want, I actually do find that I enjoy the Commodore 64 version of the music infinitely more than the arcade version. I think it's got more personality to it, if you can say that about music. I just said it, so you can. And all in all, this is one of the games where I just cannot get sick of listening to the music. Obviously, again, if you listen to the same music 10-20 hours in a row, you probably start getting a bit bored with it, but the musical elegance presented in these tunes is sky high. It may not be funky, may not be whatever people want from it, but the overall quality of the tunes themselves is undeniable, and I think that alone would rate this game very, very highly. Now the controls is a bit odd because you are flying around in a circle, as you may or may not have gathered, and that actually means that you need to follow your craft's rotation on the screen. So you actually use a full rotation. Just moving left or right will only get you so far, so you actually need to use your joystick's full rotation ability in order to navigate around on the screen or on the game field, which is probably a bit wonky for the first 4 seconds, and then it should become a second nature. The gameplay is a wave-based shoot 'em up, and anyone who's paying a bit of attention to this will probably realize, and I mean, I suppose I've spoiled it in the thumbnail, but this is actually a very, very clever Galaga. I'm fairly sure Galaga came before this game, but in essence, the gameplay foundation is the same. You have your craft at the bottom of the screen, or wherever you decide to park your craft, and then you have enemies coming in waves, and then they are parked at a certain location on the playfield, and then they start coming at you, trying to shoot you, and all sorts of other things. Very, very similar to Galaga, but done in a super, super clever way, which makes this game, even though the concept is very, very similar, 10 times more exciting. I enjoy this game 100 times more than I would Galaga, even though, as I said, the gameplay mechanics are technically the same. It's just the delivery of set mechanics that can be changed slightly and make a quite great game. You have 2 power-ups available you can gain. You can gain double fire, which is, you've probably noticed, you have those 3 craft coming out, and if you shoot the middle bit, they will split into 2 parts that you need to catch in order to get the double shot, and you're going to gain access to an auto fire. Outside of that, the game plays exactly the same all the way through, except for the fact that, of course, things start moving faster, start getting more aggressive, and there will be more stuff to avoid. But overall, I have to admit, as I already mentioned, the arcade conversion quality, which I think is sky high for the time. But also the gameplay, it is very, very, very simple, but the music, the pacing, the somewhat initially odd full rotation game mechanic thing just adds to a surprisingly enjoyable game. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, when I was doing this footage, I was surprised that I enjoyed it, but I wasn't, because I knew that I used to love this game, and playing it for a few minutes and I got back in the swing of things, and yeah, I just had a good time with this. And for all intents and purposes, even though it's a phrase I use too much, as an arcade conversion, this is pure excellence for the Commodore 64. No doubt about that. And on that note, I'm going to say thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time. Bye bye for now.